Hello everyone, I am Gurudat, Assistant Professor in Indraprasth Law College. Welcome to the new semester. In this video lecture, I'll be introducing you to the Professional Ethics subject. The full name is Professional Ethics, Accountancy of Lawyers and Bar Bench Relation. In this video, I'll be introducing you to this subject. Along with it, I'll be also dealing with the first topic, which is historical perspective and regulation of legal profession. First of all, let's discuss about the syllabus of this subject. In this subject, there are total of 5 chapters, which will be dealt in approximately 6 to 7 video lectures, and this is a practical subject. So, along with these 5 chapters, you will have to prepare a practical file, and there will be a viva also, in which you will have to answer the questions and also defend your assignments. So the first chapter is historical perspective and regulation of legal profession. In this chapter, we'll be dealing how the legal profession in India got evolved from ancient India to Mughal into medieval India, then to British India during the British period, then after independence. After that, we'll be discussing admission, enrollment, and rights of advocate in the second chapter. The third chapter will involve the ethics of legal profession and legal professionalism. In fourth chapter, we'll be dealing with the contempt of court. There's a separate act called Contempt of Courts Act. In this chapter, we'll be dealing with what is civil contempt, criminal contempt, and even the recent cases. For example, recently Prashant Bhushan has been convicted of contempt of court. Now, and all the cases will be dealing with all these things in this chapter, in the fourth chapter. Then strike by lawyers and extent of professionalization of legal profession, and all the other things we'll be dealing. There are 3 books which are recommended by your university for this subject: S.P. Gupta, Kailash Rai, and Dr. Sirohi. You can purchase any one of them if you want to, but I will personally say that this subject can be covered even without books. Only Bar Council of India rules will be enough. Advocates Act 1961 will be enough, and Contempt of Courts Act will be enough. These things will be enough. You don't need to purchase book. If you want to, you can, but there's no necessity. Now, when we talk about the historical development of legal profession in India, we can divide the development in 4 parts. The first one will be the ancient India. Then, after the arrival of Mughals in India, after the arrival of Muslims in India. Then third will be British India, when the Britishers capture India. The fourth will be independent India, that is after the end of British rule. During the ancient India, we were not having some sort of professional legal law as a profession. We were not having law as a profession. So most of the works of justice was done by the king himself. Kingship was present, and religious leaders, preachers were mostly deciding the legal matters and helping the king in deciding the legal matters. Then came the period of Mughal era. Then when the Muslim rule started in India, slowly law as a profession got developed during this period, and for the first time the concept of vakil was introduced in India. Jila adalats were established, Sadar Diwan adalats were established. Fees of various kind of legal services were fixed during this period, during the Mughal period. Then finally came the British period. Now, with the arrival of Britishers needed a legal setup to govern India, to rule India. So they introduced the English law in India. That's how the English common law slowly, with the rule of Britishers, got introduced in India, which is continuing even today. So the first court which was established by Britishers was in 1726 by Governor Ongier. it was Mayor's Court in Bombay. Later, Madras and Calcutta. Later, they were established in Madras and Calcutta also. At that time, it was called Calcutta. Now Kolkata. Then in 1774, with the Royal Charter of 1774, Supreme Court of Judicature at Calcutta was established. Now, this was a very important development because for the first time, Supreme Court of Calcutta, Supreme Court sort of institution was established in India, and it is often asked in objective question in various legal exams. Then similarly, Supreme Court of Madras in 1801 and Supreme Court of Bombay in 1823 were established. In 1862, high courts were established. Now these Supreme Courts were sort of changed, given the status of high courts which were independent of each other. Similarly, on the similar lines, in Allahabad, Patna and Lahore, high courts were established in 1886, 1916 and 1919 respectively. Now, when all this was going on, there were 6 kind of legal professions, 6 kinds of people with different kind of grades were practicing in India. On the top were advocates, after them came the attorneys, then came the vakils of high court, then came the pleaders, then came muktars, and then came the revenue agents. These were 6 kind of the different grades of legal professions, legal people who were practicing in various high courts. This was later regulated by Legal Practitioners Act of 1879, which brought all these 6 professions under a similar system, under the jurisdiction of High Court. This unified these professions under a similar system. This act, Legal Practitioners Act of 1879. Probably this was the first act which regulated the legal profession in India. Then came the Indian Bar Councils Act 1926. This act established bar councils to various high courts and Supreme Court also. Then these bar councils were given the responsibility of regulating the legal profession in India. By 1940, a vakil was required to be a graduate with LLB from a university in India, in addition to 3 other certified requirements. These certificates were: he had to pass in the examination, he had to work in the chamber of qualified lawyer, and was of good character. It will be C. Was of good character. Now, it was in 1940 when a requirement of LLB was made mandatory to practice law in India. By this time, many law colleges were established in India. Even Delhi University's Campus Law Center was established by this time. In Calcutta also, Law College was established. Law College was established in Allahabad and Varanasi also. So now India was producing their own lawyers. Remember, in the starting during the establishment of Supreme Courts and High Courts, mostly Britishers were practicing in India. Indians were not practicing. Most of these advocates were Britishers who had studied law in England, and they were coming to India and practicing in High Courts and Supreme Courts. And only slowly Indians got, with the passage of time, got admitted to the legal profession, got the status of advocates in India. Now, now comes the fourth period of legal development, illegal professional development in India. Now, this was the period when Advocates Act of 1961 was established. It replaced the earlier Indian Bar Councils Act of 1926. After the independence in year 1951, the Government of India constituted a committee under chairmanship of Dr. S.R. Das of the Supreme Court. Now, Dr. S.R. Das of the Supreme Court, he recommended certain things which was later drafted as the Advocates Act of 1961. To be precise, this committee was of view that the abolition of all distinct and various classes and grades of legal practitioners. So, in the Advocates Act, all different classes, as we had studied, there were 6 classes. All these 6 classes were abolished, and now only one class existed, that was advocate. This was recommended by this committee and further implemented by Advocates Act of 1961. It also democratized the bar councils by bringing representatives. Earlier, the bar councils were consisting of judges and the representative of Governor General or Viceroy. Now, democratization was achieved by Advocates Act of 1961. So, elections started taking place in Bar Council of India. It also took away the strong control of high courts over the legal profession, and Bar Council got those powers. So, before this Advocates Act of 1961, most of the legal profession in India or legal education was controlled by the Bar Council, by the High Courts. With this act, Bar Council got those powers, and Bar Councils started regulating the legal profession of India. Now, Bar Council of India was also established. On the similar line, State Bar Councils were also established by Advocates Act of 1961. So, there were certain functions which were given to the Bar Council of India. I just written them down. To lay down standards of professional conduct and etiquette for advocates. To safeguard the rights, privileges and interests of advocates. To promote legal education. To lay down legal standards of legal education in consultation with universities. To recognize universities which degree in law shall be qualified for enrollment as advocate. To exercise general provision and control over state bar councils. To promote law reform and to organize legal aid for the poor. These are 8 written functions which in All India Bar Council have to complete. Now, one more important question, I should have discussed it in the starting, that why do we need to study legal ethics or a bar bench relationship? So, just like any other profession, like medical profession or any other profession, there are certain basic ethics of that profession. By ethics, we mean that how one should conduct himself or herself as being a member of that profession is very important for a profession. So, lawyers and legal profession has always been given very important status in the society, always, during the independence movement and even after independence movement. Now, it is the responsibility of people like you and me, the students of law and teachers, as well as the practitioners of law, that is advocates, to uphold that respect and follow the basic etiquettes and basic responsibility which have been given to us, so that we maintain the dignity of this honorable profession. So therefore, this syllabus is this subject is very important, and therefore it is also a practical subject. Apart from learning in the class, you also have to learn by internships and by reading various books by lawyers and advocates and professors. Apart from the video lectures, I'll be also giving you certain reading material written by various advocates about how to conduct yourself as an advocate and how to develop yourself as an advocate. Thank you.